Okay, Matt from Badass Outdoors here again. Wanted to show you guys a new knife. A bit of a preview of this was made online earlier in the week, and I have the finished product here that I'm going to be displaying for you guys. And I want you to see also what I've done with the sheath. It's been modified by the incredible technology available from cutting the inner tube of a bike tire into bands, commonly called Ranger bands, or just as commonly called rubber bands. And with those Ranger bands, I've added a match safe. This is maybe the cheapest one on the market. I believe it's made by Coghlan's. It's also one of the better ones on the market. So I don't often endorse Coghlan's products, and I'll continue not to. However, this is the exception to that rule. Just a simple bright orange match safe. With the match safe, I've also added a Light My Fire fire steel. Beyond the Light My Fire fire steel, on the back is a jet scream whistle from Ultimate Survival. I figure if I can signal for help in a pinch or get a fire going, the Ranger bands are also excellent as tinder to get that fire going. I'll be in excellent shape along with the knife. So the whole idea is to be found when I need to be found, and to be safe and comfortable when I am not in need of being found. The knife itself is all S30V steel. It's got a G10 handle. I really like that it's a nice bright yellow, because this being S30V and also having this fancy quick clip going on here, as I showed you in the last video, this is going to be excellent for amphibious use. I like to run rivers. I also like the high desert backcountry, so this knife is going to be able to do it all for me. It's not so big that I couldn't have it on my PFD or on my river belt, and it's not so small that I couldn't do some significant bushcraft with it. So in a minute, I'm going to get the dog out of the way here, and I'm going to show you what this knife will do. Okay, as promised, this little S30V knife by Jason Stout. He's a tool maker out of Tennessee. A common use for a knife is going to be the the paracord. The paracord is not going to be an issue for this little river knife. A lot of people mention that not seeing any serrates on this, that it might not be a quality river knife. It might not get you out of a bind, but it makes it through this cord pretty effortlessly. I hate to embrace the cliche, but pretty much like butter. It works wonderfully. Now, this is a new ferrocerium rod, and anyone that's ever used a new one knows that this might be a little harder. But it's got some nice ridges on the back here. Those are not just for the ferrocerium rod. I'm going to talk more about those in a minute. But when used on the rod, you can see the right angle here that he's made into the blade on the spine here. So it's going to really grab onto the ferrocerium, and sparking is far from an issue for this little knife. Super lightweight little knife too, so I can have this on me whether I'm running the river, canoe, kayak, or boat, rubber boat. But I can have this on me all the time and just forget about it. I don't know about showing what this knife will do to a stick. I mean, any sharp knife will tear apart a dead stick. This knife does that as well as any other, I suppose. I mean, it rips through. It's going to keep its edge. The S30V steel pretty much speaks for itself. I don't know how much I really need to show this knife cutting things up. What really matters is that it's reliable. The steel speaks for itself, and it makes it more than a reliable knife. The geometry of the blade, the Scandinavian grind, the G10 handle, which is a little bit rough and will probably only get stickier with use. I've tried this handle with my neoprene rafting gloves on, and I can hang on to this thing and get a full working control over the tool. I was talking about these little grips on the back. Often they are used to put your thumb on, and that's great. They're also super nice for scraping the ferrocerium rod from Light My Fire. That's great too. The other nice thing about them is in the dark, or in a situation where you might be underwater, maybe dragged there by your raft, which you slammed into a stone wall running down the canyon. Having these as just an identifier so that without looking, I know that if I feel these guys, my blade and handle and everything is oriented exactly right, and I know where I can get the torque on this knife in a real emergency situation. Even if I'm cutting up and out of my boat in front of me, my hand is perfectly oriented just by feeling those extremely benign and harmless scales back here. So that is a big help. Whatever I'm trying to do, I have something that identifies the placement of the knife, eyes open or closed, oriented in front of me, maybe behind my back, maybe something worse. So that's the knife. That's our new knife. You can find it at badassoutdoors.com. That'll take you to our website. You can click on the shop button. You could go directly to shop.badassoutdoors.com, and we'll have this knife up there shortly. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I promise I'll have more and more for you as we get more and more product. Again, I'm Matt from Badass Outdoors. Matt from Badass Outdoors here. You've seen a million fire lighting videos. I'm just going to show you one more using the Made by Jason Stout Badass Outdoors knife. It's just that easy. Now, of course, we are in the high desert, so it's no real award-winning feat to start a fire with a ferrocerium rod. Everything here is dry, everything here is ready to burn. But, as you've seen with a million other knives, now you've seen with this beauty how just one more reliable tool to have on you at all times, water and land, the Badass Outdoors amphibious knife made by Jason Stout.